It is No Gifts Please, the parenting podcast by the pair with no real gifts, but a whole lot of gumption. Hey everyone, I'm Steve Noviello.
And I'm Jenny Ann Chondo.
And I'm chewing still because I had to eat something in the break.
This makes me feel so much better because I embarrassingly, like when I look at my nutrition, how far it's fallen.
Oh my God.
Like with a baby, you're just kind of scraping to get by.
That watching what I'm eating right now makes you feel better?
Well, yeah, because of what I ate. Like, because I ate Taco Cabana breakfast tacos at 1 p.m. in my car, like right before getting out. I'm like pumping in the car, trying to find ice packs to like put on the milk before I come in here, eating my like Taco Cabana old crusty breakfast burrito. And then you had a gas station pretzel. So I just don't feel as bad.
I love a soft pretzel.
Can I tell you?
I love a soft pretzel.
The best. Do you guys still have 7-Eleven by the station? Or not? Yeah, 7-Eleven?
It's there. Yeah.
Have you ever had the pizza?
Oh God, no.
Disgusting confession.
You love it.
I love it.
Oh, I mean, that's 7-Eleven. You know where we're located. You take your life in your hands.
No,
by the way, we're moving. You know that, yeah?
Oh, my envy overfloweth.
Really?
Oh my goodness. It's going to be so gorgeous.
It's so funny because the last station that I worked at before I moved to Dallas was in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I left and we had one of those like sponge painted, like forest green. It was outdated, like the set. And I left and they did a huge renovation like that next year. And I was so like, oh God, look how beautiful it is. It's so beautiful. So now I finally feel like I'm getting like the
facelift.
Like, here we go. So we're building a brand new broadcast center in Las Colinas.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. The commute's going to be a little bit longer, but honestly, for 21 years, I've had a 5-minute commute to work, so I really can't complain. I think it's worth the drive to honestly be somewhere that's befitting of the work that we do. So,
ooh,
I mean,
well said.
Yeah, I mean, we're the dominant number one television station in the top 5 market, owned by the network. Like, we work in a dump. It's time to upgrade.
Yeah, it'll be good and safe and clean.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Healthy, good for your lungs, all the things.
All of the things.
So yes, I love a short commute too. I mean, it takes me 2 seconds to get to work and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. Okay, so talk to me. We are back for another season.
We're back for another season. We're still like rehashing the summer. Want to, I've actually done a couple segments with Legoland and I remember them like kind of Brighton's not even the biggest like Lego girl, but she likes Legos. But after I did that segment, which was a client segment, by the way, so they, came on to produce this segment. They had totally sold me on like, you need to go to Legoland. You just went.
Oh, like the actual theme park.
Yeah, isn't that where you went?
Yeah, I did. So I think that people here in North Texas think that
I'm not thinking of the local one.
Discovery Center or whatever it's called.
I'm talking about the one you went to.
Is like Legoland, and it is not. So our first experience with Legoland was, and I think I've talked about this on the show before. We went to their park in San Diego.
Yeah.
Probably a couple of years ago at this point with the boys. We went one day. They loved it so much. We went back a couple of days later. It was the cleanest, like most beautiful, well-kept. That was also in California in mid-June, so public school wasn't out yet. And we went midweek,
okay.
So it was like super quiet. Like the kids loved it. There are huge like Lego huge like life-size like dinosaur sculptures, and I mean it's insane. So really super cool. So they also have one of all places in Goshen, New York, which is about halfway between where my parents are on Long Island and where my sister's lake house is in the Poconos. So we went there during a trip this summer. The only downside I will say, so first up I will say the park which by the way, Goshen, New York, like I am if anybody, and I know that maybe you don't because we're here in Texas, but like all of those like New England-y small town, there's just so much, it's just a deeper, richer, just the architecture and these old towns that you drive through that are just loved with the stone walls and like the clapboard siding, and it's not so it here. Cute. It's so cute. So anyway, we went to Goshen, which is a darling little town in kind of the Catskills-ish area north of the Hudson Valley, to go to Legoland there. I will say the park in San Diego, maybe because it's older, had far more mature trees. And unfortunately, there was a massive heat wave that during the time we were in the Northeast.
Okay.
Which for them is like 94, 95, but like that's hot. Like it's even, it's not 105, but it's still hot. And nobody's really used to it and there's no shade and whatever. So that part sucked a little bit, but the kids loved it. I mean, they loved it. We must have ridden like this one roller coaster like 5 or 6 times.
Isn't that the best?
It was just
so obviously the lines weren't too bad.
The lines,
if they were able to ride
we had
that
done
many times.
kind of like a VIP package situation as well. So like we were able to get on more frequently.
How'd you feel cutting in front of everybody?
And I felt
what was
just
that like?
Fine. I felt just fine. So it was great. I mean, the kids loved it. Now we stayed at the Legoland Hotel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which we did not do in San Diego, which on the surface it's a hotel. I mean, whatever, but they make it look like it's made out of bricks, right?
Well, isn't it connected too?
It's right there on the property. Yeah, for sure. And then the rooms are so cute. Like they have like an area for bunk. They're very thoughtfully done for that. They get that families will be here, right? Like who's right.
I hope it's not
Generally,
duos,
right?
Date night.
Well, but that's the weird thing about Disney. You ever go to Disney and you're like, we went on a Disney cruise with the kids and like, have you ever been on a Disney cruise?
No.
Okay, so total sidebar here. So when you go on a Disney cruise and you come onto the ship, they announce each family. Like it's like, like you're walking to the nice hotel. So it's like Disney Cruise Lines would like to welcome the Enchundo family, like Jenny, Gemma, blah, blah, blah.
And you get to walk the red carpet and like wave at everybody.
Like waving and like Mickey's there, but whatever, and then they're like, oh, we'd like to invite blah, blah, blah.
Like Bob and Michelle. Or
this one guy, I remember we did it and then whatever. And then this single man got on the ship and they were like, Disney Cruise Lines would like to welcome John. Just John.
Hold on. I'm going to sidebar
Everybody,
your sidebar.
Get a good look at John. He's here alone on a cruise for children.
I'm going to sidebar your sidebar. We made my mom once a personalized towel, beach towel. I don't even know if I can get through this. And I don't know if it's going to be as funny once I explain it, but the vision in my mind, we made her a personalized beach towel with like some inscriptions that said Gaga on it. And when it arrived, it got sent directly to her. So we didn't know. We're just like, surprise, like happy birthday. Yeah. And she opens it up and it's a Disney adult. It's just they got the wrong photo. And it's a single adult man at Disney printed off onto her towel that says Gaga. And she was like,
who
thanks.
Is this?
Wow, thanks. It says Gaga. It took a while before we all realized they got the wrong photo. So I reached out to him thinking this is comical, right? I found him. He's like a Disney influencer. He didn't think it was that funny. He was just like, yeah, I guess they got the wrong photo. So anyway, yes, I know that they exist and I now follow this Disney man.
So anyway, yes, sidebar. But back to Legoland, the hotel rooms are super cute. There's like bunk beds. We did a pirate theme. My parents chose it was like a castle theme. I forget what Reed and TJ did. They also have like Lego Friends, like kind of like the more skewed toward girl theme, like princess themes. There's like a little play area in each room with a bunch of Legos, and like, it's all very like nothing. It's very thoughtful. Everything from the carpet to there's like you go in and there's a game and like how many keys are on like so that now you're decoding this like 4-digit number so then you can open up the safe and there's little Lego toys in there to play with and like it was really. Really nice. I would absolutely recommend. I think that our boys. I want to do it. I think that our boys are about done. They've about aged out.
Oh, okay.
So because the roller coaster they loved, right?
I see.
And I think that that's about that. Like,
what did Reed and TJ think of it? I sometimes feel like self-conscious with like kids that are.
I will tell you,
they love our kids, but then you wonder, okay, is this like?
Oh my God, they're the best. Like they were all in. I was also this. I was like, you're going to spend a week with my family and my sister, who you it's kind of a running joke in. So my sister and I adore her. I really do. And I think the world of her. And I think she's a great mom and she's got 2 wonderful kids and her husband and I get along really well. We're not super duper close, but we're not close for any reason. I don't know if that makes sense. I think that like Like when she was getting married and having kids, like I was not at all. You know what I mean? Even though we're only 2 years apart.
Yeah.
And now all of these years later, when her daughters are in college, I'm now having kids. So like we just, our
life phases.
When our life phases were the same, like we went to the same college, we were super close.
I'm impressed that they go trick-or-treating. And so now this is like a whole new level.
Right. So you've experienced that, right? So they will come to your house and they know you, but like, they don't have kids. Like,
but it's great. And I think, sometimes you're like, okay, they're cool for trick-or-treating, but like, are they going to go for this whole week's vacation? But what great friends. Yes, everybody needs friends like that.
Well, and even like when we'll vacation with the kids, we'll be like, hey, we're going on a cruise with they're like, great, where are we going? Like, let's
love it.
Do you really want to go on a cruise with our kids? And they're like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like, but they also have nieces and nephews that they're super great uncles to. So,
they're savvy. They know how to make a gift bag. They know kids.
I mean,
like, really
first day of school, like Reed comes over the night before and like he's got this incredible penmanship and like does the signs for the photos on the first. I mean, they're like all in.
Oh,
they're all in.
That's so sweet.
It's great. They're wonderful, wonderful friends. So in fact, spoiler alert. So my sister, hopefully she'll come. So
that woman,
50th is coming up. And they're like, is she coming? Is she coming? And I hope that she will.
What are you going to do?
So we're doing
or there's this like not public
consumption? No. I mean, so Doug is like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I was like, you know what? I don't think that we need to do, like, let's just go to dinner. Like, let's, whatever. He's like, we need to do something. Like and this is coming from a guy who
does not want to
do anything, which let's mark that. Remind me to tell you about a party that we went to recently.
Oh.
But anyway, back and forth. And I was like, you know what? I would like to do something. Here's the blessing of life.
You got too many people.
Life is big and beautiful.
You've got too many people.
It's big and beautiful. And I would love to invite everybody. I mean, we had 125 people at our wedding. Like, you know what I mean? Like
across the country.
Right. Like, so I'm looking at this and the guest list is like, I'm trying to keep it to 75. Like, that's hard because there's
now with school,
there's my mom friends from school, right? So that's a whole new category of people whom, by the way, mom friends from school, like, my gift to your husbands is if they don't want to come, they really don't have to. Although I would love to see all of them there. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So, and it's not like it's if 200 people show up, I would love that, but like at some point you have to like the facility is like, we can only,
so like there's facility.
Yeah, no, we're doing it. Yeah. There's
a facility.
So there's mom friends, there's parent friends from school, I should say, because it's not just moms. That we're friends with a lot of dads as well. Then there's like people like you who are like friends and then work friends.
Yeah, and then
that's
you have
a hard
friends.
right because it's like, okay, like I've got my work friends and then like that's a whole bunch of people that I've worked with for 21 years. Then I have my friends. You know what I mean? Like
Doug's friends.
Which is Heath. So that's covered.
So they'll both skip it and watch the kids.
Right. My parents, my mother, you know what I mean? So like it grows quick. But anyway, so, okay, let me ask you this.
Wait, there was a Doug sidebar.
Yeah,
but anyway,
no, this is it. Okay. So Doug and I recently went to a party for a friend at school. These are the parents of a kid who, frankly, I adore. I think the world of. I think the parents are super cool. Like we've been Cub Scout camping with them.
Now that you've complimented them thoroughly.
But seriously, like, and I would tell you that even if they didn't listen, right?
Okay.
So I was like, hey, there's a surprise birthday party for the mom. I would like to go. And of course, I would love for you to come with me. And of course, immediately he's like, well, when, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I was like, hey, reminder, like,
this is coming up.
Like this is coming up, whatever. I said, you don't have to go, but like if you want to, like, and he was like, are you kidding? He's like, I would love to go on a date with you. And I was like, perfect. I was like, I'm gonna have the hottest date there or whatever. So great. Awesome. So I was like, hey moms, he's coming,
Yeah.
So he's like, I mean, I might not stay, which like, it's par for the course. Like I didn't think
Uber app is updated. I mean, it filled
is
with cash.
Right. It is right. Like he's pre-booked, So we're getting ready to go. And I mean, he, again, not that he doesn't like people, but like, it's just less his thing than his
personalities, for sure.
So I'm like, hey, by the way, like you should probably wear shorts. And he's like, wait a minute, is this outdoors? And I was like, well, it's kind of like indoor outdoor kind of situation. Like, yes,
it is summer.
It's outdoors. It was at a restaurant that had like kind of one of those like outdoor structures that didn't really have wall. It's more of like a covering with like fans and that kind of thing. So we go. And I didn't even realize it until we were there. So it came time to sit, right? So there were about 24 people, 25 people there, 12 men and 12 women essentially, or 13 men and 12 women.
As it would shake
as
out.
it would be. So everyone was kind of like getting together their seats went on. And I was like, oh, I was going to go sit next to one of the moms that I really liked because I knew Doug would be leaving. And then he was like, no, I'm going to stay. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, great, even better. And then I turn around to the tables, and maybe we just don't go to enough straight people parties.
Yeah.
All of the women sat at one table.
Divided.
And all of the husbands sat at another. And I was like, first of all, thank God I did not sit down with the moms, because I would have been the friggin' gay guy over there with the,
and what
like the
Doug
one guy, right? Right.
So you guys went with the dads.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, we totally went with the dads. But it was so, I don't know, is that normal?
Yes. You texted me this and I was like, yeah, I can't believe this has never happened to you before.
Why would it?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's weird, like in kindergarten with Jacob, in kindergarten, we got invited to a boys only birthday party. And I was like, are we doing that already?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But it wasn't like because we were learning how to shave. I mean, it was like because we were doing.
It was to talk about the birds and the bees at this birthday party.
Right.
I think it's really just a way for the parents to whittle down the guest list and not offend anybody.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? And I think it's just like, okay, well, there's 15 kids in the class and we can only have 8 at this particular venue. So we're going to just do boys.
This was like a scene at a Fiddler on the Roof with the men on one side and the women on the other side.
A scene from life in Dallas, Texas.
I have never experienced such a thing before.
This happens a lot. I will say Heath and I will sometimes get a little bit annoyed by it because we truly don't get a ton of one-on-one time with one another without our kids. So if we get a sitter, yes, we may be seeing friends, but we're kind of like looking at it as a date night for the two of us. So then when we arrive at the venue and then sit through a 2.5-hour dinner and drinks and we haven't been by each other, it feels a little weird because then you're just together during the like 15-minute drive. To and from, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, we may as well have like had somebody stay home with the kids and then done a date night.
It never even dawned on me that I would. And by the way, it was great. It was a great party. I mean, I was chit-chatting with the dads, and we sat across from some really nice people, and I got to deepen those relationships. And then like kind of after the meal was over, people were a little more mingling, and then I went and gossiped with the moms for a while about things at school.
Yeah.
And but it was just so funny to me like that. I was like, oh, I guess that's
so funny
thing.
that you've never, I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, here's something else that I think about all the time, more than I care to admit.
Oh,
but no, it's really silly. Like, because remember we talked when we did that thing, I think it was during our first season where we did like a fast 5 questions about each other.
Oh yeah, we need to do those again. That's fun.
And like things that would surprise. And then we were talking about gender roles in our homes. Like, okay, we're 2 dudes, you're a guy and a girl. Yeah. Like, who makes dinner? Who does the laundry? Blah blah blah. So I think about you every day when I put my socks on. Doug and we don't share clothes, but we do share socks.
You do? I don't know why that like makes me laugh.
And that's why I think about it, because I was like, I bet you that this would surprise her.
Yes.
Just like sitting in opposites in like gendered segregated parties surprised me.
I bet a 2 female. Well, I guess.
Now, and let me preface. So we share dress socks. For some reason we don't. Well, actually, because I wear tall athletic socks and he wears short. I'm like a.
Doug is like not modern like you. Like
I'm
Steve
like a tall
is very
sock,
elevated. Oh well, so you're like being youthful through your socks, because that's the current trend.
But like dress socks, we wear the same socks.
That is so like, will one of you be like, hey, I was going to wear those? Or like,
no,
did you know who they originated with? Like, hey, those were mine, but like now you wear them?
I will say that he is more of like a fun pattern sock. Like, like, look at me, I'm a banker, but I'm approachable,
I'm a fun banker.
Like, right. Like, look at me. I'm a good time. I've got a handkerchief and a fun sock, but it's so fun. When I tell you, I think of you every morning. I probably won't anymore because now I'm like, I've got to mention this to her. I've released it. But I was like, she probably doesn't.
That is like blowing my mind right now. You know what started to happen is my socks are ending up in Brighton's thing, like in Brighton's laundry.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. We do with the boys. So it's funny. So Jacob wears short socks and Hudson wears tall socks. because, first of all, because I think that they're so cute on Hudson, but secondly, because it's easier to
only on Hudson.
Well, but because he's like a little more like zany,
his little ankles.
Like he enjoys like a tall, like he'll wear a thigh high if you know, if you let him. Like first day of school, like they had like branded athletic socks and they were like up to his knees. So he was wearing like knee socks and like the whole, like you look like the school mascot walking in the first day because he was so excited. But it just makes laundry easier where I'm like, okay, these are tall socks. They go in Hudson store.
Dress socks for the both of us.
But dress socks and the kids same way. So like when Hudson wears tall socks, Jacob wears her. They also do that with underwear. One of them wears briefs and one of them wears boxer briefs because it just makes laundry easier.
And so did you intentionally be like, sorry, buddy, your boxer brief, boy, because your brother was already brief, boy?
That was Doug. He was like, this one is, I was like, okay.
Forward thinking.
I guess, right?
Like,
well, because like your girls aren't close enough in age that you're like, oh, are these Gemma's? First of all, does Gemma even wear socks?
We're going to have her potty trained in no time. Gemma does. No, I actually started taking socks off of her because I read some Instagram reel that like their feet should like be feeling all the surfaces and stuff. So like no more socks.
Okay. I feel like we've caught up sufficiently. We're out of time. We have so much more to get to. I do promise that at some point in the season, we stop talking about ourselves and really do dive more deeply into the parrot stuff. In fact, we've got another taping coming up right now that we've got to get to. But hey, we do want to thank you for listening. Reminder, a new podcast episode every Tuesday morning on your favorite podcast platform. Plus, you can watch us video and all right now on YouTube. And if you do nothing else today, go find yourself a friend you don't need to clean the house for. We'll see you soon.